Hey there and welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal Network. I'm Dave Dars and today we are doing some album reviews, or a album review, and I'm going to be checking out the new Ward 16 album, Identity, and it's spelled with an E, 3 instead of an E, because this is a part of a trilogy of albums with the Art of Manipulation, Metamorphosis, and of course the new album coming out later this year. So I've got a press release, we're going to have a look at that. I say I've got a press release, I had it here on a piece of paper here a minute ago, but oh yeah, that's it. I'm going to read that one out from Sam PR. Now I know a little bit about this band. I'm sorry to say I've never had a chance to catch them live, and I think this is where this band really stands out. Not just because they've got great songs anyway, but the work this band has put into their craft over the years is absolutely phenomenal. If you go back to probably right around their origins, you can actually see the genesis of this band as far as their look, like the black and white look that the imagery that they've gone with the band. You see that early stages of it where they were kind of more of a kind of classic looking metal band, rock band, and they started developing their look. But I love the idea that they've always had this concept and they've never rested on their laurels. They're always, how do they take this concept further? In my own band Telescribe, when people say who would you recommend to come check out Telescribe, and which band would you say, if they're fans of this band, they're like you, I use Ward 16 as a reference point because we've always tried to go with an identity, storytelling elements, but these guys are just far ahead of what we're doing, and I absolutely love what they do. Now, listened to Metamorphosis a while back, haven't really listened to it again recently, so many new albums coming out, but so I was well aware of what we were going to be looking into, and I was kind of expecting like a follow-on, but this is so much more than a follow-on. They've really kind of ramped up the production on this one. There is so much more going on. They really put a lot of work into this. Now, normally when I get the CDs, I like to talk about the quality and the is it worth buying. Now what I've got here is what I believe will be a press release CD. I'd be a bit disappointed if it came out in the cardboard sleeve. I think they'll probably do a proper digipack. I'm not sure if they'll do a digipack or a jewel case type one, but I'm sure that they will. But artwork on it does look very, very cool. I think the artwork's very cool on it. Now I'm not going to do track by track because it's kind of difficult. I mean, I'm going to talk a bit about the band and just my overall vibe of what I got from the songs, the album, and of course I want to talk about any particular standout tracks for me. And that's a hard one because normally, like what I find with a lot of bands when we get album submissions is you'll get an album of a collection of songs that were written over a period of time, and they don't necessarily need to be listened to in sequence order. They can just be listened to depending on what your favorite track is. This is an album that yes, you could do that, but I think if you're going to get the best out of this album, you need to listen to it from track 1 through to track 13. Now the question is it actually isn't 13 tracks. I'm going to point this out. So there are interludes, but these interludes are very key to helping you tell the story. So it's actually 10 tracks as far as physical music with 3 interludes. But again, you really want to listen to these interludes because it helps you explain what's happening with what the songs mean, etc. And it was one of the ones when we interviewed them a couple of years back, I was asking about, like, on each album, if you were currently, when they were doing it, they were doing a lot of Metamorphosis and doing the story there. And I asked if the question was if you did the third album and did them, would you be able to play songs from Metamorphosis or the Art of Manipulation and be able to drop it in with this identity in different orders, or would it not make sense because of the storytelling elements? So I'll be interested to see what happens at the stage show after this album comes out. Now I know a lot of the songs on here have been being played already live, so I do know that one. Macabre I know has been live. I've seen that in some live clips and stuff like that. So where'd you go with this band? So there's so many elements in here. So you've got symphonic elements of this band, you've got industrial elements in there, classic rock, theatrical. Now they talk about Alice Cooper as an inspiration in here, but I think they've taken Alice Cooper and they've just taken it to the next level as far as showmanship. This is a band you need to go and see live. Definitely for me, it's one of those ones that they understand that when people say we're playing a show, they are playing a show. Most bands are playing a gig. They say they come to our show this weekend. They're not doing a show, they're playing a gig. Ward 16 put on a show. They put so much work into it. Can't really emphasize that enough. There's this element of blending of samples, blending of some synths. You've got this. It's just thoroughly entertaining. It's an experience rather than just going to a show. It is. I'm taking it from a show to an experience now to go and watch Ward 16. Now the album, the songs itself, we'll talk about a little bit about that one. I mean, you've got Regeneration, which is the first song. Initially, I thought this was going to be just like an intro because it's kind of has similar sort of setup to what you'd have in the interlude. But then kicks in to a thunderous track there because I was like the interlude. It was like almost 5 minutes long around that area. And I was thinking, this is too long for an intro. If it is, then it's a long intro, and I'm not big fans of massively long intros. But it makes great sense, sets everything up. We're going into a song called Into the Wilderness. Full on epic. This is an epic track, full of elements of doom as well. Hard rock, symphonic. One of my favourite tracks on the album, definitely. What's in the Box, I believe, has been played live. It's very much the circus vibe that we've had on Metamorphosis on certain tracks, so I like that. Macabre is hard rock epicness. It is a hard rock epicness. A great track. Into our first interlude. One of my other favourite tracks on the album, though, is Blood is the New Black. This has got we've got Psychoberry's got there's some growls in there. It's a bit of like Beast in Black meets industrial groove metal. Really good track. I really like that one. At the Window, it's almost like a symphonic outro to the song, to like an album. It's an interesting place to put it in the actual set, 'cause it felt like a transitional song, which I liked. I Spit on Your Grave is dark, moody, intense. Again, a bit more industrial in that one. I thought that was quite good. Into a spoken word transition interlude, again helping you transition the story through the album. Darkest Desires. I kind of did the thing. I wrote down like Middle Eastern kind of vibes going on there. Galloping, chugging. Nice use of time changes and strong dynamics. It was just really clever songwriting from the band. Amoeba of Madness is almost a ballad, but a very dark ballad, like the Ballad of Death. And we get back to this kind of this circus waltz solo element in there as well, so I liked, which I thought worked really well. More storytelling on interlude number 3, and then we go into We Are Legion, which is the big outro for the band. I was listening through this, and every single track that came on, I was just more surprised as it went. I don't know if I could do the Art Manipulation, Metamorphosis, and Identity back to back, but I think it would be a really interesting experience to do so, just to understand the story. It's one of these albums that there are some songs like Macabre and probably Blood is the New Black for me, maybe Darkest Desire as well, that you could just put on, rock out, or just kind of just vibe out on, and you don't need to think too much about it. You can just enjoy them for straight out metal rock tracks if you like. I think with the others, though, to get the most out of the Ward 16, this is one of those times where you want to grab a CD, put it on. Okay, you shuffle on your playlist if you really must, but personally I would say bands like this, and actually any band that you really appreciate, I would use Spotify or whatever streaming service you are to use snippets of songs to get, if it's a band that you're into, then buy the album. Get the album. I don't know what they're going to charge for their album, 10, 15 pounds for a CD is fine. I'd expect that. I have seen bands do like then £10 for MP3 downloads. £4 for MP3 downloads is fine. But yeah, for me, really good album. Now, if I was talking albums of the year, this would be right up there as my choice for album of the year at the moment already. We're only in March, and based on for originality, production, thought process, this is just a phenomenal album, and it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I just generally, I listen to that, and I'm not even someone who's a big fan of interludes, but they absolutely make sense. don't make sense in a streaming world, but they make sense as part of a concept album. I love the thought process. I love what they've done with it. So yes, go out when it comes out. I said I was going to talk about this. I should read the press release. I need to know what Gary wrote about it. We should do that. I was going to say go out and buy it, but let's just read what Gary says, because sometimes. I'll go. I've just slurped coffee. Give me a second. Oh, talking too long. I'm always critical of PR companies because sometimes they just talk complete bollocks. Gary, however, at Sam PR is usually pretty good with his attention to detail. He doesn't overstate things. So let's have a look. Ward 16 are back with an explosive new album. I agree with that. Identity, which is out on Friday, the 11th of July. So make sure you go out. It's over via Earache. The Unstoppable Sextet will reveal their new single and video, Blood is the New Black, which is out on Friday, the 4th of April. So I am looking forward to checking that out. Sounds like it's going to be a great one. If you're new to Ward 16 and you have been missing out, you certainly have been missing out. I agree with that. The theatrical hard hitters hail from the northwest of England and have gained a formidable reputation for their compelling performances that infuse engrossing visuals with dark storytelling. The gruesome mob depict the story of the female serial killer Psycho Berry and retrace her steps by using a unique blend of drama, music, and puppetry. Yes, you generally just, if you have a chance and they're anywhere near you and you can get to a gig that they're playing, go watch Ward 16. They're phenomenal. Born with a powerful drive to smash creative boundaries, Ward 16 tip their hats to past masters such as Iron Maiden, and you do hear that in the guitar playing sometimes, in Dr. von Stottenstein. There you go. I love their monikers. Alice Cooper, to contemporary heavyweights Ghost and Skindred. I never heard the Skindred reference, but I know they're massive fans of Skindred. So I don't hear the DNA in their music, but they've had the chance to play with Skindred, which is phenomenal. And Cradle of Filth, I think they opened for at the Roundhouse, if my memory serves. So they've established themselves as a standout act in the rock and metal scene, are quickly adapting to bring their stage show to the club circuit in prominent venues such as London Roundhouse, large festival stages akin to Bloodstock. So following on from the success of previous albums, Metamorphosis, which earned widespread plaudits and racked up numerous awards, Ward 16 are ready to release their eagerly awaited new album, Identity, which is the final part of the trilogy. I have no idea what they're going to do after that, of the trilogy, so it is great. Absolutely phenomenal. I can't fault Gary on that one, actually. Yeah, it's a good press release. It's to the point and it doesn't overstate the obvious. So what do I recommend? I've told you it's a 10 out of 10. Just when it comes out, go and buy it, and make sure you subscribe, follow, check them out. Not that they need any more bigging up, but everyone, there's so many bands out on the scene, so if you haven't gone there, go check out some of the music videos that they did for the previous albums. They are some great music videos they've done. They really understand what they're doing, and as I say, go check them out live if you get a chance. But 10 out of 10 for me for Identity from Ward 16. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.